The man was obviously scared to death, but tried his best to overcome his fear, slowly pushing the helmet in front of him, and Jack, who was beside him, hurriedly threw in the honeycomb prepared in advance, after quietly closing the helmet. Soon the giant was awakened by the stings of the hornets, and staggered about trying to drive away the bees. The heavy helmet was surrounded by bees, which completely obscured the giant's vision, and at this crisis, the giant finally succeeded in removing the helmet, but the bees did not intend to let him go, and the giant, not noticing the cliff at his feet, fell in the struggle. The king heard a loud noise coming, rushed out of the tent to check the situation, only to realize that the end of the original vines is really the giant's kingdom. For the sake of the people's safety, he could only give up the life of the princess, ordered his men to immediately cut these through the vines. Looking at the hesitant generals, no choice but to set an example, drew a long sword and cut to the vines. At this time the princess and others have long escaped from the prison, but the generals decided to stay behind to deal with the Lord of the Retrieve the crown that can control the giants, so as to avoid the destruction of the human world. Jack saw the dagger will be given to the other side. The general also took down the badge of honor to Jack. Then Jack with the princess along the vines all the way down. However, the foot of the soldiers are cutting down the vines. The next day the general in his sleep was awakened by a cacophony of noises. Probe looked, only to see a vast army of giants pouring out of their nests, ready to launch an earthly attack. Just as Lord took out the magic beans, ready to build bridges to conquer the world, hiding under the boulders of the general suddenly launched a sneak attack, violently rushed out. Two people in the struggle fell into the cave. The bag containing the magic beans also fell out. The two-headed giants to see this scene, and immediately showed ambition. In the face of the Lord's plea for help, two-headed giants pretended to cooperate to let the other giants to smash the statue, delaying time. I did not expect Lord's fighting skills do not lose the general. A few rounds down, the general was defeated, nearly fell off the cliff. Lord saw the situation and picked up the knife, began to enjoy the victory. I did not expect that the original disadvantage of the general suddenly broke out, backhanded a sword stabbed into Lord's chest. Lord continued to emit screams of distress. The giants were instructed to speed up the progress of the smashed rock, but it is still a step too late, as the Lord's life died. The crown on his head also lost its magical power. The giant leader who regained his freedom then snatched a step ahead of the others, grabbed the Lord's body, and wore the magic crown as if it was on his hand. At this time the demolition of the ground is also coming to an end. After 100 horses pulling, the vine's rhizome uprooted, towards the ground quickly collapsed. The general leaped, dead grasp of the vine, left the giant kingdom. See, the return to Earth's hope is completely cut off. Ambitious two-headed chief can only let out a reluctant roar, along with the vine that is about to fall to the ground. Jack immediately hugged the princess tightly, a leap down, straight into the not far away from the wheat pile. Safe landing, and the general and the vines fell to the royal city at the moment, jumped into the moat in the middle of the life, the king to see the princess safely back, surprise. However, just as Jack rode the donkey and prepared to go home, he saw a horrible scene from the reflection in the water.